Good day to all the subscribers and the Double O Days YouTube channel community members. In this video, I want to give an introduction to the framework that will be used to actually look at the various options in the country politically and how those options stand up to the one criteria that we have assigned for ourselves. And this is a criteria that I've decided on. That's what this channel is about. So if you subscribe on this channel or you're a channel member, you should agree with this main point that we are trying to achieve. And I've laid out 10 questions that I want to ask on a spreadsheet. And what we are trying to achieve is very simple. We want to see how the endeavors or the efforts of any movement or political party or entity that want to operate within the political framework within South Africa, how they are going to help us to become free. And the heading says party or individual test criteria to ensure individual liberty over collective good ideology. And throughout my tour around the country and all the thousands of people that I've spoken to you in person in these meetings, I spoke at length about the difference between individual liberty and the greater good ideology, where your freedoms can be removed for the greater good of society and individual liberty is laid to rest. And this is not something that I can stand for. And I think all the people that attended these meetings, the majority of people understand that they want individual liberty and that they don't want other people for their greater good or whatever cause to remove their freedoms. And that is why this is the main criteria. And there's 10 questions that will ensure that this criteria remains in place. So this is the dividing line. Do you believe in individual liberty? Or do you believe in collective good ideology? And depending on how you answer these questions, you will then lay out how much you will assist us in attaining individual liberty, because this is what we want. So many parties will fall out the bus even at that starting point. If any party believes in collective good ideology, or any movement or efforts on the ground believe in collective good ideology, you are falling out the bus right at the onset. But here are the 10 questions that I will pose and that these different organizations or movements need to answer to say how they will assist you. And I want you to comment below this video and tell me if you disagree with any of these specific questions that will be asked. And there's a reason why this is criteria. You're not going to see service delivery here or any of that political nonsense that people throw out there, because this is about freedom of choice. If we don't have freedom of choice, we will not have humanity left. If we don't have humanity left, what are we? Why do we even exist on the planet? And that question you should be able to answer if you've attended any of my meetings where these powers that want to implement this new order amongst us, what they intend for your future, your child's future especially, and your grandchildren's future. So question number 1, are you pro the current constitution? In other words, do you want system change? Do you believe that we need to do something about the current constitution? How do you feel about it? And this, I think, is where most people will trip up completely. And that is why this is placed first. Because if someone does not want to change the constitution, or they haven't even looked at that, why are they even in the political space? They're wasting my time, they're wasting your time. And that applies to all three of the largest political parties in the country right now. The ruling party, the official opposition, and the third largest party in the country. They are all pro the current constitution, except maybe for section 25 that everyone's been faffing over. They are useless to us right now. They play no role in any future in this country if we want to remain free. So I cannot imagine me even discussing any of those. And I want you to tell me which movements or political parties or any organization you want me to test against these questions, and then I will do so. comment below this video, and then I will make sure that I cover every single one of them. And if we can get a party spokesperson or even a party leader, organizational leader, to come into an interview with me and face these questions, I will gladly do that. I will feel very sorry for them in general, because it's not going to be a pretty sight. Question number 2. Does your plan strive towards irrelevance? And I will cover each of these individual points in a video. So you're going to get 10 videos. This is the introduction video with each of these points explained briefly. It's not going to be more than 5 minutes. It'll be quick for you to understand. So there'll be the introduction videos, the first 10 videos, and then we are going to start dealing with these individual organizations that you will ask me to actually contact. I will speak to their spokespeople. I will speak to their leaders, whoever they are willing to assign, and then I will test them based on this criteria. So does your plan strive towards irrelevance? In other words, do you strive to make your organization irrelevant in future? 3, do you align with Agenda 2030's Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs, or Agenda 21 of the United Nations? Self-explanatory. Number 4, are you exclusive? So is there anything in your movement, party, organization that makes you exclusive in any way, shape, or form? 5, do you believe in sovereignty? And this is self-explanatory, and you'll be surprised to see how many organizations do not support sovereignty. And remember, all of this relates to individual liberty versus collective good ideology. Will you be free in future? Number 6, do you have a savior figure? In other words, is there a person in your movement that comes across as this person or individual or entity that's going to save the rest of us? Okay, that should be self-explanatory. 7, what is your position on CSE, or comprehensive sexuality education in the schools? The reason why this is a huge factor is because CSE is used as a means to an end, and this is driven by UNESCO, who is a subsidiary of the United Nations and has a very specific goal with regards to freedoms. And this is why this is a very important testing point, and many organizations will fail the test. Well, at this stage, I'll be very surprised if there's anyone or anything left. So I consider this last bit pure semantics, to be honest. Number 8, do you mention color or race vocally and or in organizational documents? And you will find many organizations falling by the wayside immediately when that question is asked. But like I said, I don't even expect to get to this point with most of them. Number 9, do you make outlandish statements? In other words, do you make statements like, I am the next state president, we are the best party out there, or we are going to save the entire country, or anything like that? Or I am your savior, I am the best person, or any outlandish statements or claims. Number 10, do you make promises? Now, the reason why this is put last is because there's so many people out there in organizations that make promises. They actually say, I promise you that I will do X, Y, Z, or I promise you this organization will do X, Y, Z. And I will cover this each individual point in an individual video to briefly explain how you need to look at that point and understand that point in context. And then you will see what remains. And it should be quite interesting. Once you go through all of these points and I've explained them, you will understand why that is the criteria you need to use to measure whether you will be free in future or not, based on the organizations, political parties, movements, whatever you want to call it, that is out there in the South African space. And I really want to thank you for watching this video, this introduction video. You can look forward to the first video in the series of 10. I will have all of them completed today. So by this evening, you will have all 10 of these videos uploaded to a unique playlist, which will have the heading party or individual test criteria, okay, to ensure individual liberty over collective good ideology. Thank you very much. Till the next video.